So the presentation is on the 4 stages of sadhana. Pratyahara is one of the limbs of Ashtanga Yoga. And Pratyahara is the less glamorous part of Ashtanga Yoga because people don't usually give attention to it. We think a lot about like pranayama or dhyana or dharana, no concentration, meditation, pranayama, even asanas. These are the famous limbs of Ashtanga Yoga, but Pratyahara is a little bit forgotten, it's out there, and sometimes we think it's not so important and we cannot give much attention to it. So the class is to show the importance of Pratyahara and where it enters. So I will be using the Mentimeter, and you can see the link on the screen. You go to menti.com, enter the code that you see on the screen, and you can interact with the presentation. So the first thing is, what is this for? It is for human being. So we are human beings. And we have to understand a little bit ourselves so that we can make use of the tools that we have. We are beings, let's say, physical, mental, and spiritual. We have a structure that we can say it's bio, means the physical, psycho, means the mental, spiritual, that's the spiritual part. And the difference between one and the other, physical and mental and spiritual, is just a matter of how subtle one is. So there is like a continuum. You have very dense physical, and then physical goes on becoming less dense or more subtle. It comes to a point that is not physical anymore, now it becomes mental. And then mental is a more dense mental, but then it goes getting subtler and subtler until it comes to a point that it's spiritual. So it's not like 3 separate boxes like I have here on the figure, but it's a continuum from physical to spiritual. And our body, or our structure, is the structure that transforms physical into spiritual. So we utilize this, let's call it a biopsycho-spiritual machine. It is transforming what is physical into spiritual. Let's take a look at our physical side. When we look at our physical side, we have to see that, okay, we have many systems, let's say digestive system, circulatory system, breathing. Most of these systems are to maintain the structure. But the functioning of the structure, the most important parts of the functioning of the structure are our sensory organs and our motor organs, which are the organs we use to interact with the world, and also to go within. Then, according to yoga, we have 5 motor organs and 5 sensory organs. The sensory organs are the ears, the skin, so I feel it, the eyes, the tongue, nose, and the motor organs are the vocal cord, hands, feet, and 2 more are included, genitals and excretory organs. So that makes the 5 motor organs, 5 sensory organs. So that's, let's say, that's a little bit about the physical structure. Then I would ask you a question. Okay, so now you can go into the menti.com, use the code that is on the screen, and answer, in your opinion, which of these 5 sensory organs is most difficult to control? You know, which one attracts your mind the most? Like, for example, you're walking on the street and you see something, and then you get so attracted that you have to go there and see it, even if you are going to some other important task. Or you smell something and you really, oh, I have to eat that. So which of these organs you feel is most difficult to control? So use your cell phones or your computer and go to that site, menti.com, in the web browser, and then enter the code. And I see here that we have a little bit majority on the eyes, but it's very balanced. So I wish more people can participate in this.
It's interesting that nobody's saying the skin.
The code is 67460720. I can repeat. 67460720.
Someone heard you.
Oh, okay. We got one skin there.
Yeah, well, it's sort of unfair that the skin is responsible for the pain response.
Okay. I will move ahead with this one. So just to make you think, you know, that we have these 5 sensory organs, which one attracts our mind the most? 67460720. All right, so now we are going to look at the mind. Mind, let's think. I see something, so the vibrations come into my eyes, and I see it. Then I close my eyes. I can still see it in my mind. Why? Because one part of my mind took the shape of that object. So I can see it in my mind. So I close my eyes and I still see the same thing in my mind. So that shape or that form is in my mind. So that part of the mind that takes the shape of everything we experience and everything that's happening in our life is like that screen where everything is going on is called the chitta. So now we have that part of the mind that takes the shape of everything we experience, even feelings. I'm feeling sad, that's happening in that screen. Everything is happening there, and I'm perceiving it. So one part of the mind, the chitta, takes that shape. So how do I perceive it? There must be another part of the mind that perceives it. Otherwise, it's like the screen is there, but nobody's watching. So somebody's watching. So who is that? That's the aham, or the ego. So the ego is watching whatever is happening in my chitta. But that's not the only part, because for the ego to be there, first of all, I have to be there. So I must exist before I can do something. So that I exist is the mahat. So now I exist, so now I can see, and what I'm seeing, the chitta. So I exist, that's the mahat. Now I can see, that's aham. What am I seeing? The chitta. Okay, so 3 functional parts of the mind. Then I have another question, because many of the people following this presentation, you have heard about the 5 layers of the mind, which are the 5 koshas. So my question to you is, I presented this model of the 3 functional layers of the mind, or parts of the mind, So where do these 5 koshas enter? So I put 3 options. Some koshas are in the chitta, others in aham. Higher koshas are in mahat. And the last one, all koshas are within the chitta. So let's see what our audience thinks. So I'm giving some time. It's the same link, menti.com, with the code that's in the screen. If you were already there, just put the next question and you come to this question, and we would appreciate your participation. Okay, I think we have some sample. Yeah. And
It's pretty evenly split.
most people are in the, all koshas are within the chitta, and some people are thinking that higher koshas are in mahat, and a few people think that some koshas are in the chitta, others in aham. Let me go to the next picture. And all the koshas are in the chitta. Because, even the higher kosha is something that is happening in your mind, some objectivated happening. So of course some koshas are more towards the physical, some are more internal, but all are within the objective part of the mind, with the dhan I, the chitta. Yeah. So, but the mahat and aham are always there. If you are operating on the, let's say, 4th kosha, which is the Vijnanamaya kosha, you're operating there. Still you have the aham and the mahat, because I is always there. And for anything to happen, it needs the doer also. So those two are always there. And then in the chitta, you may be operating from one layer or another. Okay. Now, the spiritual part. So the spiritual part is the soul, or the jivatma. So now we have physical, the body, then we have mental with these 3 functional parts, and then we have the spiritual. And the spiritual is the consciousness, is the knower, it knows that I am. Okay, so if there is not that knower, also nothing will exist. So the spiritual is always there also. And now we have the whole figure here, the physical with the 5 motor and 5 sensory organs. We have the chitta with the 5 koshas. Then we have the aham, and we have the mahat, and finally we have the soul. And that's the full human structure. And I put here a little bit some English terms that we use. For the soul is the I know that I am. For the mahat is the pure I am. The aham is the I do, and the chitta is the dhan I.